now we have our roster. Important to note, us breaking the bank on Trey Turner has put us $11 million over the 253 salary tax threshold. So we can have a few approaches. We can try and justify that, having re-signing Aaron Judge, Anthony Rizzo, Trey Turner would spend a little bit of that extra tax. The way that the tax threshold works is the amount of money that you are over the tax threshold is where you get the penalty. Obviously, the draft picks are even across anybody who is within that same threshold. So if the Yankees are 11 million over, they're getting that extra, I think it's a 50% tax or a 75% tax in this threshold on that extra 11 million. And then when you get up to the 273, I think it's the 90%, and then there's the Coen tax, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. You basically pay double. But yeah, let's go into who we taking out. I say from this lineup, I'm gonna take the liberty of making Jose Trevino our starting catcher.
Yep.
All right, at first base, Anthony Rizzo.
Mm-hmm.
Second base, this is where it gets interesting. So now our team, our infielders remaining are DJ, Trey Turner, Anthony Volpe, Oswald Peraza. We have Oswaldo Cabrera as a util option. Who do you guys think slots into second base?
I'd say Peraza.
See, I was leaning Volpe just because I heard that they were trying him out there quite a bit in the minors.
Only reason I say Peraza is because of the big league experience already. Well, I mean, the little bit that he has.
Are we talking about shortstop or
second base?
Yeah, you see, I think I would prefer Volpe there to start.
I guess do we work back from shortstop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shortstop's probably the way to go, right? So do we slot Trey Turner in a shortstop, or are we playing Peraza or Volpe there?
I think I know that their plans are to use either Volpe or Peraza for the future at short. So I feel like we kind of have to move Trey to third, but we could go Volpe as well because I know they're talking about that as being a potential path for him to come up.
So then
it's a tough one.
So then for that we put Trey at second base. I don't remember Trey Turner playing third. I'm sure he can do it, but I guess Trey Turner would go second, maybe Peraza short, and then
Volpe.
Yeah, well that's for the future.
That's my lean.
Okay. Well, to start the season, I would say DJ at third.
Yeah, I would say DJ at third to start the season as well.
Assuming he's healthy.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, we could, Volpe is young. He could come off the bench to start and then work his way in.
So then we have Peraza at short. All right, and Trey Turner, our second baseman. That puts Higgy and Volpe on our bench, as well as Oswaldo Cabrera could be an outfielder. Left field, I'm looking at Andrew Benintendi.
Yep.
Easily, yeah.
Harrison Bader. Now, this is an interesting one. Do we play Corey Dickerson or Aaron Judge in right field?
I think Dickerson might have the edge this year. I don't know, guys.
I'm sure we can find a defensive metric that tells us that Corey Dickerson's a much better right fielder than Aaron Judge, if we look hard enough.
It exists.
All right, at DH, we're going to slot in Giancarlo. So that puts Corey Dickerson, and it also puts Oswaldo on our bench. Then starting pitching, Garrett Cole, Nestor, and Sevi are kind of both twos.
Lopez is a great 4.
Yeah, I think Pablo Lopez slots in at the 4. And then we have Frankie Montas. I think the one swing guy we have is Clark, right?
Schmidt, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll go Trevino, Wandy, Marinaccio. So now let's work backwards. Who do we think is the closer?
Loizaga or Clay is where I'm sitting.
The stat that J-Ray gave about Loizaka's back-to-backs, I think Clay has it until he doesn't again, which is a risky proposition to have.
Yeah, no, I'm rolling with Clay. I think I told Jake before, when because you had gotten cut off, but I had said I think a lot of Clay Holmes' problems were mental, and I think that's like 90% of pitching is the mental side. So if we can get clear all that up, I think he's the perfect closer for this team. So, and I think he'll be fine when the season starts. So I'll roll with Clay Holmes. He was dominant, man.
I can live with that.
So then I'm gonna slot Loizica into the setup slot, which in modern bullpens this doesn't really exist. And then our last two are David Robertson, our new signing, and Michael King. This salary slots out to $263,900,000, putting us at 10.9 million over the limit.
Honestly, I don't think I make moves.
Yeah.
I really like the lineup as it is. Um, I mean, the one person I'd explore moving is probably Montas, if I'm being honest. But
Mhm.
like, I really don't have any complaints with going over for this roster.
Yeah, my only thing with Montas is is his value, and that was like it was kind of a begrudging pick on my part. Like Yuendrys Gomez isn't going to be available for us soon to come up. So in terms of low cost starting pitching, because you need like 6 to 7 pretty solid starting options. Um, I think we kind of have to roll with him given how low his salary is. I think Pablo Lopez, if we can work that out, is a really good find because he's being paid nothing right now. Then we have a really high value starting rotation. Do you guys think that Hal is going to want to go over the tax threshold? Do you think he's willing to?
I think he would love to refrain from it, but I feel like over the last couple of years, since 2017, the way we've gotten bounced from the playoffs, I feel like we have no choice. You have to. You have to spend money to win sometimes, and I think we need to revert back to old ways. Go back and have a '09 like off season. Spend that money. Show the city, show your team that you're serious about winning too, and you're going to bring in top end talent to do it. Because we can't keep playing with house money. The baby bombers era ended already. That's over. 2017 was nice. We lost. We're like, okay, wait till next year. Well, next year wasn't good enough, and then 2019 we got bounced again. 2020 should have been the year we're like all in. We didn't swing it. We didn't swing for Manny Machado. We didn't swing for Bryce Harper. And now we got a chance to get a guy like Trey Turner. Yes, this is an offseason where I see how having to go over that.
Yeah, I think he realizes that's the only way to truly retain Judge and then also make the team better at the same time.
Yeah, I'm with you guys, and Jake, like you said, looking at this, I don't know that I make any changes because I'm starting to eyeball. Okay, where do we have the flexibility?
Mm.
Um, where we can go? How do we shed that 11 million? I think that comes in the form of um, so we assume that we're keeping about half of Donaldson's contract and also dumping
Yeah.
off Herman. I think the only way we get a team to take on Donaldson's full contract without taking on at least 10 million in return is if we give a high level prospect. And I think that high level prospect is like Volpe, Dominguez, maybe Everson Pereira. Um, and I
Yeah,
don't think that's worth it. I'd rather pay the tax
Yes.
on the 10 million.
they're not. Yeah, they're not going to give up Volpe or Peraza for just a dump. I don't think that's how they value them.
Yeah, that it would be negligent at that point. And then otherwise, I'm looking at like, you know, Corey Dickerson. I'm like, okay, maybe we can shed 8 million, a benched outfield bat. But then we look at our minor league options. Um, do we trust Estevan Florial's bat? Is Oswaldo Carrera just our utility outfielder? And at that point, I think a championship team is really missing a bat like Corey Dickerson. J Ray, I thought that was a great pickup off the free agent market. Because I inevitably, we've seen Brett Gardner as our fourth outfielder and Aaron Hicks play like 120 games in a season, and we don't plan for it, but it happens. And I don't know that I want to run based on what we've seen from Esteban Florial. I don't know that I want to run him out there as our fourth outfielder. So I think I'm confident with the value that Corey Dickerson provides. I don't know there's a way to shed underneath this 263 salary.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, like you said, we've had times where we're rolling out with Brett Gardner and Aaron Hicks. So having a guy like Corey Dickerson, a consistent bat, would be nice. So I'm content with the way we have this roster situated. Obviously, like Jake, I'm not too fond of Frankie Montas at all. As I mentioned, I don't really see this guy as a Yankee, but partially that could just be because, we didn't see too much of him down the stretch. But I love the roster the way it's set. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Do we want to trade him? Do you guys want to entertain a trade? We're kind of hating on Frankie Montas right now.
Get some prospects for him at least.
Yeah. Who do we think, or yeah, do we trade and shed his salary and say, F it, we're going over the tax, let's get a pitcher?
Could do that.
We could do
I
that.
wouldn't be mad.
What
Are we
pitcher?
going Death Star?
I think we have to.
Are you gonna say Verlander?
I don't think we can go Verlander.
Yeah,
No.
it's too much.
How about Ross Stripling?
Ross Stripling, what's his projected AAV? 11?
Good question.
Roster Resource has him at a 2-year, $22 million deal. Honestly, I like that deal. I think I really like that deal.
There you go.
Did not get a qualifying offer. So is that our last moves? We sign Ross Stripling, trade away Frankie Montas for some prospects, just a salary dump.
Yeah, let's put a bow on it.
Why
Right?
not?
And that's only a net $4 million increase. So, Jake, that's going to be your pick. Pick number
I'll
30,
take
wrapping
that.
it up.
Made it easy.
I'm trying to see any other starters out there. I mean, Michael Waka isn't a bad fifth starter.
Yeah.
Michael Wacha is such an interesting character.
Sneaky
What were
good
his?
ERA left.
Yes,
Yeah,
very.
what was his ERA ending up at last year?
He was
3.49.
11-2 with a 3.32 ERA last season.
It's crazy.
That's credit to Boston. I didn't expect that. He won a couple of games for me for fantasy baseball this year.
All right, so the Yankees opening day, 26 men finalized. Sending this to Brian Cashman now. All the contracts are written. We've talked to all the agents.
We made it very easy.
Yeah. At catcher, we got Jose Trevino returning to the team. Anthony Rizzo confirmed signing on. That's the one thing we can actually say is set in stone. He's got our 3-year, $51 million deal with a club option for the 3rd year. We're signing Trey Turner. Ooh, what's our final contract on Trey? Like 8 years, 30 per?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Trey Turner's our second baseman. Oswald Peraza is our shortstop. DJ LeMahieu is our third baseman. Andrew Benintendi returns after his trade from last year at left field. Harrison Bader in center. And big 99 Aaron Judge patrolling right field for the rest of our lives. Giancarlo Stanton slotting in at DH again. We got Higgy as per usual on the bench catching. Then we got Volpe making the roster. Corey Dickerson from St. Louis and Oswaldo Cabrera, our util option. Our starting rotation goes Cole, Nestor, Sevy, Pablo Lopez, and Ross Stripling. Pablo Lopez via a trade in which we give away Gleyber Torres to Miami, and Ross Stripling comes off the free agent market. Clark Schmidt being our swingman. Our relief pitchers, the rest of the bullpen, including Lou Trevino, Wandy Peralta, Ron Marinaccio, David Robertson returning to the Bronx, Michael King when he's back from his injury, Johnny Lasagna, and Clay Holmes closing it out. How do you guys feel about the 2023 Yankees?
I like that.
I love that. Great vibes.
I'm still
Fantastic.
iffy about the fifth starter spot. I don't know.
Yeah. That's the one place where I think we could improve.
Mike Clevenger's also available. Just gonna toss that
But-
name out.
I think Clevenger is very close to the end, honestly, as
You think
a
so?
player. Yeah, his stuff just isn't there anymore.
The one thing is that I think he can be similar to. He doesn't have quite the injury reputation that Tyone did, but Tyone we got for nothing because we took such a flyer on him. I could see that Clevenger's injuries hindering his contract to where we can get a similar deal as we did for Tyone.
I mean, he could definitely be a reclamation project, but I don't know. I wouldn't be shelling out a relatively large contract for him.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
put it that way.
absolutely.
Maybe like a 1 year prove it deal, if that.
1 year, 8 million maybe.
Yeah, 6.5 maybe.
Hmm.
Maybe like started like 5 with incentives.
Yeah.
So that way, like if he makes 20 starts, he gets X amount plus.
Yep, we'll see how it goes. And if we start making big moves and we go full Death Star, I'm all in. This is not my money. So spend it.
Well,
This multi-billion-dollar corporation that controls my emotions half of the year.
Yeah.
we're just dark places.
All right, I think that's all from us. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, J Ray, for hopping on.
Of
This is a
course.
really good exercise. And this is our roster. So Brian Cashman's going to be listening to our instructions. Thank you guys for joining us again. Another long episode.